Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about a potential for a big storm headed towards the United States. This will be occurring this Wednesday into Thursday mainly, so a little bit of warm air will come with this winter storm. Just as major, literally just a storm, not really a major winter storm. It's a strong system. It's going to be pretty powerful, bringing actually more rain than snow. That's why I'm not going to call it a winter storm, but more of a big storm and not a winter storm. It's not a winter storm, really. It's going to have some snow, yes, but it's really going to be negligible, and it's mainly going to be probably known for its rain event. So that's mainly what we're going to be talking about in this video. I could also give you a little quick look at what's coming next week. Some models are hinting at a larger system. I'm not going to make a whole video about that. It's still too far away. But consider guys subscribing to this channel. Consider liking this video. It really means a lot, really supports this channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you that subscribed. It is amazing. We're almost at 15,000 subscribers. We're almost there, so if you could get that number up to there, that would be fantastic. So let's get right into this video. We're looking right now at the GFS, and this basically is a 500 geopotential height anomaly, and this also tells us where the troughs, the ridges are, and usually you can also figure out where a low pressure system is. Notice there's more of a troughing pattern going on right now across the United States. This was actually negative 12 hours, but so notice there's a pretty nice system right here. This basically spills its energy into the I guess the western U.S., but a big storm comes out of this. Notice right there, it develops and it causes this little trough to try to dig into the eastern U.S., but it doesn't really do so successfully. And the clock is going off, so I apologize about that. Again, it's 4:58, so it's the hour change. And notice the Northeast may actually get some hit by some pretty chilly conditions, but nothing really too insane. I mean, this won't bring a Arctic front, but notice there could be some pretty big troughing in the western U.S., so that is interesting. Notice right there, some pretty big dips we can notice right there, which would be interesting. This would obviously indicate right here a storm system. The GFS previous model run had a way stronger system, and I would actually show you this. Let's quickly just look at it. Let's look at the okay, sorry about that. Let's look at the 12Z model. And let's just look at the MSLP and precip. I quickly want to show you this system before I show you the main one. This, you can see we're showing a pretty big system. European is going all over. I mean, it's showing crazy amounts of snow with that one. But let's focus on the one that's, going to happen in the next couple of days. So let's rewind this. This is a storm where, so right now we're seeing a little bit of a troughing pattern again. Some cooler air into the central U.S. Nothing record-breaking. It's still below average though, so the below average trend continues. Notice how there's a little piece of energy up here to the north, not really associated with the system, though this system really takes advantage of the moisture that is around. It doesn't really tap into the Gulf of Mexico. Notice this is around the Thursday morning time frame now. This will really develop through late Wednesday or mid-afternoon Wednesday into Thursday morning. It really develops. It breaks out a nice swath of snow across the upper plains. Notice a little bit of snow here across Minnesota, South Dakota, but overall it's a pretty big system. You're gonna notice that there's actually a secondary cold front behind this. This could leave some impressive rainfall amounts, and then again quite a chill for the United States, or for the eastern United States. So that would be interesting. Notice this whole storm system could almost come in three pieces. Here's the first piece. Here's the second piece, heavy rain for the south and the mid-Atlantic and the Ohio Valley. And then the third one right here develops, and it could possibly hit the East Coast if it weren't to be pushed off so quickly by the cold air. So we'll see about that, but definitely a big storm, I would say, coming towards the United States. Let's look at some of the total accumulated precip amounts just to show you some of the rainfall amounts, and let's check this out. So notice how it may not seem impressive, but from one storm system across the upper Midwest up to 2 inches, an inch and a half, that's pretty impressive. That won't lead to major flooding, but it just shows the strength of the system. Shows how much moisture this had, and if it was colder, or if the system had more cold air around it, then this could have been a fairly snowy scene for the Midwest. But unfortunately, or fortunately, it won't really be bringing too much snow across those areas. Though you can see with that secondary piece of that system. Notice how it delivers easily up to 2 inches of rain, according to the GFS, which would again be more of a cause for concern in terms of flooding. Don't think it would be, really of much. Concern in terms of alarming people. It seems as if this will rather be on a weaker side, relatively speaking. It's not like summer thunderstorm where we could get like a event where it just comes out of nowhere depending on the daytime heating, and that could, if one thunderstorm goes over a certain area and it's strong enough, it could lead to flooding. This will be more widespread, so if the flooding does occur, it will be widespread, but most likely it's a less likely chance because it's widespread. Let's look at some of the wind, MSLP and 10-meter wind with this system. It doesn't have like a bomb out cyclone wind event, but notice that the winds do pick up a little bit, especially across the Great Lakes region. This could get up to, I don't know, maybe 20 tops 20 knots an hour, sustained. And this is obviously not so in wind miles per hour. This would be close to 30, I would say, across these locations. But again, it's not. It's fairly tightly packed for a 996, but it's not. I would say record-breaking of any sort. It's not like the Edmund Fitzgerald's system. And again, that second system later on in the week looks more impressive. You could see looks even more impressive. The GFS now, the newest model run, doesn't show it having a lot of snow with it, but the previous one has. So let's go to windy.com and quickly find the snowfall accumulation. I want to show you the new snow for the European model. Notice a little bit of snow with that with the first system, really. And then look at this. I mean, things just explode with the European after a couple of days. Notice there's that's a snowstorm around this time frame next week, Monday, Tuesday. Notice there's 16, 18 inches across Iowa, Illinois, also northwest portions, Chicago even getting on in this, and up into Minnesota and the Canadian border. So this would be a giant system if the European is showing the right thing. And again, the European has been pretty accurate with storms this year so far. The GFS has a better handle on the systems or on the air masses. Let's see what the Canadian is showing. Usually the Canadian is more likely to agree with the European than the GFS. Let's see. So this is that first system. Again, a little bit of snow across upper Midwest, but mainly a rain event. And then this one's still advertising the cold front, or that second piece, but has a little bit of snow behind it, which would be interesting to note, or interesting to note of. Notice, okay, so the Canadian does include that snowstorm. Doesn't include ridiculous snowfall amounts like the European. It does show a little bit for sure. It definitely shows a big system, but it's nothing of what the European is showing, which is a little bit interesting. Is the European is a really good model, and we'll just have to wait and see if that holds on and holds true. In terms of the snowfall from this first system, let's look at the GFS. And let's just look, in the next 156 hours. Notice, I mean, really, the snowfall amounts are going to be kind of miserable. Maybe 2 to 3 inches across Minnesota, South Dakota. A little bit more by the Arrowhead. Maybe tops up to 6 inches, half a foot. In the Northeast, not really seeing much. This system does intensify once it gets up here. You can see up to 15, 14 inches, but nothing of really major sort across the Minnesota, North Dakota, and just the U.S. really. Again, with the second system, we could be looking at something more substantial, which would be interesting to see what the European, if it shows the snowfall increase, stay consistent in the next couple days. So this is with that first system. Notice again, miserable amounts, nothing really impressive. The highest amounts will be across the mountains up to maybe a foot and a half tops, and again a little bit more by the Arrowhead, 7-6 inches. Also, I want to point out that there's going to be a system that's going on right now across the country in the Northeast. This one will be leaving a little bit of snow across the Northeast. Notice interior parts of the Northeast, but getting awfully close to areas like New York City and Boston. But up to 4 or 5 inches is possible, and into northern Maine up to 9-10 inches. So that's also interesting to note of. Here's the 8 to 14 day outlook. I wanted to quickly look at this. This is valid from November 26th through the December 2nd. So, pretty far out around the holiday release season. I mean, at this point, we're starting to get into it. Notice a little bit of more confidence of cold air across the western U.S. rather than eastern U.S., which is interesting to note of, as they've been, the east has been predominantly cold. Now it looks as if it could be colder across the west. 6 to 10 day outlook, it could be colder, again, across the west than south, not necessarily necessarily the north, but it's neutral chances, and I think it'll rather go in the orange or warmer direction rather than the cold. I mean, the European is showing some pretty darn chilly temperatures right now, so that is that. But in terms of anomalies, it's the GFS. I mean, the European is like the outlier. It's showing quite some substantial code. This is around the next time. This is around the Wednesday, Tuesday time frame. Here's that big system. Up to the north, we have some pretty chilly temperatures, and it just overall keeps it very chilly. Notice across the U.S. So that's interesting. European has a little bit of colder scenario. GFS, let me show you the ensembles. They're not as confident. They're kind of all over the place, if you will. Wait, let's see if the 12Z models are all in. They are. Let's look at just the 2-meter temperature anomalies and take a look at this. So let's start from hour 0 and take slowly go into this. Notice a little bit of chill in the east, and it starts getting pushed up by a little bit of warmth in the west, quite a bit of warmth, but then that quickly gets replaced by a cooler air mass in the west, which most models have been trending for. The GFS again showing the chilly temperatures across the west, which most models are showing, but some warmer to near normal conditions across the east. So I mean, you can see the models are really struggling themselves. Look at that. That's low confidence. I mean, seriously, what is this? This is not even a pattern. This is kind of just wait, well, we're kind of lost. That's basically what the models are showing. Here they're showing a little bit more defined. Again, what the 8 to 14 day is showing more cold across the northern western United States rather than the southeast. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.